Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Casa Bacardí. My name is Jose Cueto. I'm the co-chair of the Cuba Infrastructure Committee along with Cristina Ortega this year. The committee represents two sponsoring organizations, the Association of Cuban Engineers and the Cuban-American Association of Civil Engineers. We'd like to recognize the presidents of each organization and thank them for their financial support for the program, first and foremost. Helena Solo Gabriel, the president of the Association of Cuban Engineers, and Maria Fernandez Porrata, the president of the Cuban-American Association of Civil Engineers. We'd also like to recognize the generous support of the University of Miami Cuban Heritage Collection, the Institute for Cuban and Cuban-American Studies, and the Gosueta Foundation, and definitely Casa Bacardí for hosting us today. Prior to beginning the program, the committee would like to give a little bit of a background as to how this event came to fruition over the years. More than 5 years ago, a group of Cuban engineers got together in this very facility in Casa Bacardí to hear a presentation. That presentation inspired that group of engineers, which included many of the people who are here, Dr. Solo, Victor Pujols, Dr. Armando Perez, and really got them going to form a group on Cuba infrastructure, which would basically study the infrastructure in Cuba, put together papers, and really move an effort forward to learn and set up a plan for a future transition in Cuba. Over the years of working, that group inspired various students to participate in writing papers on Cuba's infrastructure, and that's really why we're here today. The gentleman who gave that first presentation that really kicked off the study on Cuba's infrastructure here, our group, his name is Juan Belt. Juan Belt is a career member. Just to give a little background on Juan Belt, he's a career member of the Senior Foreign Service and the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. He holds the position of Senior Economic Advisor. During his career at USAID, Juan served as the Director of the Infrastructure and Engineering Office in Washington, D.C. He was also Director of Central American Programs, Director of Economics Office in Panama of the USAID, Costa Rica, El Salvador, and was a Chief Economist at the Global Bureau of the USAID. Juan could not be with us today, but he was kind enough to send us physically, not with us today, but he was kind enough to send us a video basically providing a little bit more in-depth background as to how the Cuba Infrastructure Committee was formed and eventually the student presentation and Cuba Infrastructure Challenge that we have today. We're going to go right into Juan's video. Juan is participating today via telephone for a question and answer session. So after his video, if the audience has any questions, we can ask Juan. He's actually on the phone at this moment.